Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Shelly, and today we're going to do a little bit of Christmas scrapbooking using the Magic of Christmas collection. This is a new current collection by Creative Memories, and they had a couple of options. They had this one, and they had a gingerbread collection, at least so far. I don't know if they intend to release any other Christmas collections. I went with the Magic of Christmas, although while I was looking through my photos to choose what photos I wanted to scrapbook today, I did find some really cute pictures of my niece and nephew. Um, well, they had already assembled, but some pictures of them with their the gingerbread houses that my mom and them did last year. So we'll see. I may check my Christmas stash and see if I have something else, but I may end up with that one as well. We'll have to see how it goes. But with this collection, I got the designer paper pack, and I also bought there is this collection that it coordinates with the Magic of Christmas, and it's called December Days, and these are the giant tag cut aparts. I am toying with the idea of trying to do a little December daily type of thing. It won't have all of the days and it won't be in order. It'll just be kind of like a Christmas memories type of thing. But I liked these, and so I thought I would, ooh, what if I use some of these for my layout today? Hmm, I am having an epiphany in the moment. We may have to consider that. All right, great. That just steered me right off course. Okay, so I have those two collections, and then I also got the little coordinating cardstock, and it has two reds, a shimmery gold, and two greens. So I got it as well. Even though I do still have those colors, I just thought, I'll just add it onto here and go from there. Now, I did get the embellishment pack, the matte stack, or the matte pack, and the laser cut borders. I really wish that they would give you two of each of these borders. They don't. It makes me sad, but I guess I could just buy two if I wanted two of them, but that would be so many. They're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. And I wanted to use them on my layout today to go all the way across both pages, but there's only one of each, but they're so gorgeous. I just love them. With this collection, I also got the decorative border punch. This is what I'm going to be using today, and I have done a little bit of experimentation again. I can't seem to help myself, and I try something out, and then I'm like, well, I like it, but it's going to be so much work, but I did it anyway. So we'll look at that in a little while. But I have decided to start. I have not done as much Christmas scrapbooking as I thought that I had done. So when I pulled out my pages, there are very few actually that I have completed. So I started organizing all my Christmas photos into a folder and sorting them out. And there are so many years, and it was very overwhelming. So I decided I'm just going to start with the most recent and maybe work my way back from there and try not to stress about it. So the pictures that I'm going to be scrapbooking today are from last year. And we kind of become a tradition. We don't do it every year, but we do it a lot of years. We just take a picture of every all of the individual little families in front of my mom's Christmas tree because we have Christmas at my mom's house. And sometimes we'll do a group photo, sometimes we won't. Usually it's because we don't have anybody to take that photo. I'm going to have to start taking like a tripod or something so that we can get that photo as well. It's something that we became especially more cognizant of after we lost my brother, and you go through and you're like, oh, there's no photos of me and him together, there's no, you know so we've done a better job even since then, but we still have been doing this for quite a few years. So I think that what I'm going to do is big photo of my mom and dad because this is my album, and so they're the ones that are the most important to me. No, I don't mean that in a negative way. All my I love all my people, but my mom and dad are my mom and dad. So then I'm going to do the other little collections. Like I have one of me and mom and dad, and then my brother and his family, and then my sister-in-law and the two youngest kids, and then their two oldest kids have kind of started their own families. So I did not ask permission to put all of them on my YouTube channel. They've given me permission to put their kids on here, but since I didn't ask, I'm not going to put my brother and sister-in-law and their big kids on here, without permission. But I don't, I'll put my mom and dad on here. And then this one is me and my mom and dad. But um, I'm not gonna put them on here. So I think that this is kind of the layout that I want to do. It's a little bit simple, but if I put if I try to combine if I put more over here, then there's nothing left for this page. And while I do have more photos of this day, I don't really want to bring them in. I wanted to kind of have all of the family portraits together. So I think that this is the easiest. It is a simple layout. It's pretty straightforward, but I think that this is what will work the best. Now, um, one of the reasons why I like this collection, the Magic of Christmas, is because it's pretty traditional in color scheme. It has a little bit of blue, which is not necessarily traditional. It has the gold, which is, there's some brown. And because my parents' house uh, is a log cabin. So there's always wood in the background, usually several tones of wood. The floor is brown. So the photos usually have this kind of gold hue, and then there's the Christmas stuff, but it does not go well with non-traditional color schemes. I have a lot of Christmas paper, and in trying to scrapbook photos in the past from Christmas, I end up having to go with the same collections over and over again because a lot of them, if they start getting non-traditional, which I like them, I think they're pretty, they just don't go with my photos at all. So that's one thing that I really liked about this collection. Now, I think because there is the Christmas tree in every photo, that I'm going to use this green with the ornaments on it. And also because I'm going to be using this ornament decorative border punch. And then I think underneath my photos, kind of in a stripe across the middle, I'm going to use this gold. And then I'll probably put another piece over here to kind of, bookend it so it doesn't look like it's just going off the end of the page over there. But so I will probably put a piece down here as well, although I'm not sure yet how big I want that piece to be. Okay, so I've done some of my paper trimming, and I think that I'm going to use 5 inches over here. And I will probably matte this photo. I'm not sure what color. I thought I wanted to use this guy here, and it goes well with the the reds that are on here. But I wanted to put a little piece of the cranberry cardstock, and this is the cardstock that they recommended. It's quite a bit brighter, and so if I put that there, then it doesn't go as well. It's fine. It's not bad, but it doesn't go as well as I was kind of hoping. So I'm not sure about this yet. This side is brighter. I could do it, but now it's like it's gone the opposite direction. So we'll see. This is a maybe. And then I have my gold pieces here. I'm going to slide this under here just for now. Come here. And then this piece, let's see, here, and 9 and 3, so it's in the middle. All right. Now this is going to be a tight fit if I do a matte because see it's pretty tight here on this page. I don't have to do a matte. I like to matte my photos, but I printed all of the photos with a white border, so it kind of has a matte anyway, and so I could just use them like this, and that would fit better, I think. But I really like to matte my photos. We'll make that decision later. All right. And then I'll have another piece down here. Like I said, I just don't know how big that piece is going to be yet. Probably, probably like 2 inches. We'll just stick it back there for right now. And then I also have another red for this piece. If I do the red over here, I'll do the red over there. All right. Now, for my border, I'm intended to punch the border in this red color and use it like it was. And then I got this wild hair, and I was like, what if I color them with Copic markers? And this was my tester piece. This was my first piece. And I really liked I really liked this combination here, but I had a little bit of issues with the bleeding. So I switched this silver to blue, and I could add, there's blue in the paper collection, so I could use the blue, but I decided to keep the silver and just be more careful, and I decided to go with a lighter red. So I've already done this because it took forever. So I just got out my Copic markers and colored the ornaments. I just cut it out of white paper. This is actually how much it bleeds through with the alcohol markers. I don't have Copics. Have Ohuhu. I always just call them Copic markers, but mostly I have the Ohuhu markers. And so I just was careful, especially in the areas where they bleed together. I had to be super careful there because I didn't want to have this same situation like I had here. But I did go a little bit brighter. And this one has a weird spot on this end, but it's going to get cut off, like here. It's not going to line up, but you know what I mean. This is how we're going to be doing it. So, and then again, the same thing that I had with the one before, I did not like because I wanted to cover this transition from the gold paper to the white paper, but because it has the punch out pieces, on these you're seeing the gold and then the white. And I didn't want to inlay all of these little pieces back in. So I used the old Creative Memories, the blue square punches that have this is the smallest hole, and it covers those silver ones perfectly. And then this is one of these that I just cut like in half and then edged. And then once with the star in the middle, I used the foam square, and then this little piece pops out, and so I just tucked it back in there like we did before with those acorn leaves. So this is what I'm going to use as my border, and then I will have to figure out my title and my embellishment. So I'm going to attach some of these pieces down, and then I will be right back. So we have adhered down all of our paper pieces. I did just ink the edges of my gold piece and my green piece. I wasn't trying to, make a major decorative choice. I just didn't want the white edges to show where the green and the red touch up against each other. So I just took basically my distress blending brush and whatever was on there, I just kind of across the edge, and no big deal. So that is all taped down. I matted my photo with the cranberry, and then I trimmed down my border and taped it into place. Like the ones here do have foam dots on them, so they are popped up just a little bit. They are the thin foam dots because I don't like for it to stick up just way too much. You don't want too much dimension, but I do want dimension. So now it's time to decide on my embellishments. I had a bit of a struggle with my title. I thought that I was going to call it Holiday Traditions. I even made this little piece on um, my Cricut, but I don't know, I just wasn't loving it. I tried this in gold and I didn't like it in gold, so I made it in black, but there's nothing else really, there's some black in the photos, but there's nothing else really black on the whole layout. So I have this, but I don't think that this is what I'm going to use. I went back through my embellishment pack, and I think that I've decided for my title, I'm going to use this Magic of Christmas, and I'm going to put it right over here. I think I'm going to see how that just ends there because it did end there on the punch. I think that I'm going to scoot my title over this way to cover that up and then put some embellishments here to fill in that space. All right, so I did go through and pull embellishments from my Magic of Christmas embellishment pack. There are way more here than I actually am going to use. It just, I picked ones that kind of went with what was going on here. I have here these I know for sure that I want to use. The presents, I think I would have liked to use the presents, but I might go in a different direction with that. But since there was presents in the photos, we'll see. But I just have a little collection here of the embellishments from the embellishment pack. I do know that I want to use this tree. Originally, I was going to put it down here, but I think that's just too much going on. So I'm going to put my Christmas tree here with this circle and the Oh Christmas tree as kind of a subheader, and then Santa. I don't like that he's facing out that direction, but I'm just going to have to get over it because the other Santa is also facing that direction, so it'll just have to work. Now, one thing that did happen since I paused the video to tape down my pieces of paper, several days have passed. I got distracted and went on a tangent, and I planned all of my Christmas pages that I want to do. Well, I didn't plan them all the way, but I chose all the photos and I laid them out. I have made like little photo layouts of myself for all of my Christmas projects, and I decided that I wanted some die cuts and I wanted to have them pre-made so that I didn't have to stop and do it during the layout that I was working on. I have a crop coming up next weekend too. So I may be using some of this during that crop. That was another reason why I went ahead and did it. So while I was watching TV last night, pulled out my little miniature die cutter and a bunch of my Christmas dies, and I just cut and assemble a bunch of just sprigs and mistletoe and holly and bows and candy canes, just all kinds of Christmassy type things that I might want to use, and that I can just grab them and use them and not have to stop and go, oh, maybe this and maybe that, and just add those hours to the layout that I'm working on. So this one, I've done a bunch of them, but this is the one that I'm really liking a lot. There are several in here that I think I may use again. So I put that in here along with the scraps of paper left over from where I was doing that in case I want to add more. And I did pull out all, I'm pretty sure every single die that I used. Yeah, I'm pretty sure every single die that I used was from Spellbinders. They may not all be available, but the ones that are, I will put in the description box below. So I pulled out some of these holly branches. I have the two of these holly branches and then in just a couple of holly leaves. I have this poinsettia, I say poinsettia. Um, this one here, and he is multi-layered. And then these two Christmas ornaments, since we had our Christmas ornament uh, theme going on. And I think instead of the Christmas presents that I was wanting to use over here, I think that I'm going to use these over here instead. And I cheated a little bit, and I went through the uh, embellishment pack for, and these are all laser cuts, which I think are super cool for Santa's workshop. And I pulled out this ornament. Ornament seems to be our theme here. And it says, "Oh, what fun." Now, it again was laser cut so you could see through it. And I think I want to put it here. And so again, I didn't want the bottom half to be gold and the top half to be white. So I just traced it and cut a little white piece of paper and attached it to the back. So just think this is what we're going to try and use. Okay. I think that I want these two guys over here to fill in this space where the bottom of the photo is showing. And then have my ornament here. And then I want to use my holly leaves. Those two different colors, maybe. Is that too matchy-matchy? I don't know that there's much difference, but there is that. And then maybe my poinsettia over here. I don't know if you can even see this anymore once I put my poinsettia there. I do like the poinsettia though. I need to make him not so curly. Why is he curly? There we go. So yeah, that's pretty. I like that. I like that. Cool. Little Christmas tree. And then one over here, since I have one over there. I have to be careful. I tend to want to just go off the edge of the page, and I have to remind myself, hey, you can't do that. You have to put this in a page protector. I know that I want two of these to go here. Maybe with some berries. I need something to put in these holes. Do I want to do twine? I have these little bows. This is one of the dies that I like the best. It was from that collection that I kept out. It's the cutest little bow, and so I've kept it over here to the side because I'm like, you know what? I might use a bunch of these. Put that there. That would be cute. And maybe a little gem in the middle. I do like that. What about these? Do I want to use these? Will they show up? Maybe I need a green bow for this one since the ornament's red on the top. Okay, I have made myself a little green one, same little bow, and I think I'll use it here instead of this one, so we'll set it off to the side. I think I like it. Okay, so now I just need to glue everything down. I think we're done. Obviously, I have to attach my photos, but I think I'm done. I don't have any journaling. I could put some journaling right down here. Um, I don't know that I have a whole lot of journaling just because this is something that we do every year. So, I don't know. Leave it alone. Okay. So there's not a lot to say about it. Here we are in front of the Christmas tree. So um, I may do that. I do want to put the date on here somewhere. So I will figure out a way to put the date on here. I need to glue that down right there. There we go. Sometimes whenever my edges don't match up and something sticks out a little bit, like right here, I have a little piece that sticks out and the pieces of paper are wonky. When I'm done or close to done, I'll just take my whole layout and put it in my paper trimmer and trim that whole edge off to where it's even. I think I did that up here whenever I was taping down my pieces of paper because not everything lined up exactly 12 by 12. A couple of the papers were longer. So, yeah, I think that this is good. I think that I like it. About halfway through, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to love this. It's a little dull. Oh, gems. I need to put gems on here. But I was kind of like, I'm not sure if I'm going to love this. It's just okay. But I really like how it turned out. So that's a pleasant surprise. And I like this layout. I love this. I will definitely be doing that again. I loved how that turned out. And actually, the first day that I did it, it looked, what the alcohol, I got this little embellishment dust all over here. And because this paper is white, I can just see it. So I'm constantly like brushing and brushing. I apologize. But the first day I really liked it. But like I said, a couple days actually passed in the middle of this layout. And when I came back, I liked it even more. Alcohol ink just dries so smoothly. That's one of the reasons why people like to use it is you don't get that line where if you color over it and then you color over it again in the same spot, it's darker in that spot. As long as you do it correctly, that doesn't show up. And you can do all kinds of ink blending and its shadows and all that, which I wasn't going to do just because I don't think this is really the appropriate paper. This paper that I use to cut these out is just this bright white paper. And, like I showed you before, it's soaked through 100% saturation. So you can't use paper like that whenever you're doing ink blending because the more ink you put on it, the more it just bleeds out into your paper. So you really have to use the appropriate paper for Copic coloring or alcohol marker coloring whenever you're using it, and this is not that. But for a single layer, I think it worked great. Um, I love how this turned out, so I definitely will be doing that again. Let me put my little gems on here real quick. Just gonna put them on my bows. Use these bigger ones, so I'll put that one there. All right. So wonderful. Love it. I gotta obviously add my photos, but here is this cluster down here, my little gems, I would have put some holly berries on these leaves, but you can't really see, where they come together, and that's where I feel like the berries go. But um, I really like this. This looks great. And then this one over here, my die cuts, and the embellishments from the embellishment pack. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching today's video. Um, Thank you for sticking through to the end if you actually made it to the end. And if you like this video, it would be awesome if you could give it a like on YouTube. That really does help, especially for someone like me who is just getting started. This is only one of like my third or fourth video. So if you could give it a like and come back again and check out my next video, that would be amazing. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.